Welcome to this video series about improvising by Sietze de Vries. You can support this video series by donating the amount of your choice to Sietze de Vries' Patreon account, which can be found by searching Sietze de Vries Patreon or by finding the link in the description below the video. Enjoy the video.
As you can see, we are again in a beautiful church. It's the Church of Uithuizen in the north of the province of Groningen. We're almost at the sea now. And this is a particular beautiful church because it's connected to the Menkema Borg, which is a little castle nearby. And the people there, the nobility, had a lot of money, so they made sure that not only their home, their castle was really beautiful, but also the church benefited from it. So you can see the pulpit and the other furniture in the church is really beautiful. And when we look around and go to the west side of the church, eventually, then you can see the wonderful organ in this church. And this is one of the famous masterpieces of Arp Schnitger. He came to Groningen, to the city of Groningen, for the first time in 1690, and this organ was built 10 years later, exactly in 1700. You can actually see the year below the rugpositief. And you can see it's a wonderful organ case carved by Jan de Rijk and designed by Allard Meyer. And those two people worked together with Arp Schnitger a lot here in Groningen. And you can see the high quality of the organ case. It was designed as a two-manual organ, as you can clearly see, houtwerk and rugpositief. And there is also a big pedal behind the houtwerk. So the whole ensemble is really beautiful, was preserved very well and restored in 2001 by Bernhard Etzkes, and now it's in a very good condition and a wonderful instrument to play and to listen to, of course. So let's go upstairs and do the next lesson. As you can see, the beauty continues here. We have this beautiful console of the organ with the painted stop knobs, the beautiful carved keys and the cheeks. Everything is really the highest possible quality, which is of course quite something if you consider this being a very small village, really just a few farmhouses and this wonderful church, and that they were able to have money for this kind of instrument. And it has 28 stops, so it was actually for a long time the biggest, the tallest village organ in the Netherlands. So yeah, it's quite something to have that in a province like Groningen. Well, we arrived actually at partita 5 of Pachelbel to use as a model for our own improvisations. And last time we did the version for manual only, and of course there's a good reason to be at this organ, because one of the typical things of Schnitger is that he has big pedals, and with big I mean that everything is there. So not only 32 foot, 16 foot, 8 foot stops, but also 4 foot, 2 foot stops, mixtures, everything. So even a village organ like this has a pedal that has 16, 8, 4, 2, a mixture, and reads 16, 8 and 2 foot. And that last one, the 2 foot, called the cornet 2 foot, of course it has nothing to do with the cornet that you play in the manuals as a solo stop. A cornet is in the North German tradition always a pedal reed, a trumpet actually. So we have this 2 foot reed in the pedal. And to show you how wonderful the reeds of this organ are, and most of them are completely original, I will use it against the Vox Humana 8 of the Hauptwerk. And let's just play the harmonization of the song that Pachelbel uses, Christus, der ist mein Leben, in a typical way of the North German organ. So the melody in the pedal, which will actually sound as the soprano with the 2 foot, accompanied by the hands with the Vox Humana. And remember, we did this in one of the first lessons as well. This is the kind of harmonization that you really want to do a lot, because it really gives you more and more control over what you do. So let's hear the song with this wonderful stop combination. So now we go to partita 5, which is the same as we did last week, but now we divide the 3 parts, because it's a trio, over the pedal. And Pachelbel clearly states it has to be a 4-foot in the pedal, so we add the octave 4 to the cornet 2-foot. In the Hauptwerk I add 8 and 4-foot flutes together with the Vox Humana, and in the Rückpositiv I have the wonderful Dulcian 8-foot together with 8 and 4-foot flutes as well. And then we get this wonderful color, almost like a small Baroque orchestra that you can listen to when you hear this organ. It's actually quite special to have these type of sounds that mix so well. Often you have very loud reeds, and very typical for the school of Arp Schnitger, and of course the whole North German school, is the really beautiful reeds that mix with everything. So let's listen to the Pachelbel partita. And of course you can tell from the almost perfect third at the end that this organ has an old temperament as well. So if you play the right keys, so not a lot of accidentals, C major, F major, G major and so on, it really has a wonderful sound. Well, let's apply this to our improvisation. We already talked about the technique last time, so you can look it up in the last video if you want to. But let's use our old 100th psalm to have the same procedure. So left hand playing the bass notes and right hand just some coloratura, so some beautiful ornaments on top, and the melody in the pedal.